How does it feel to be back out here doing football?
Oh, it's euphoric. I mean, getting to hit people, playing football, playing the game you love, especially after a long and arduous like rehab process. It's great to be back.
Could you describe long and arduous?
Yeah, I mean, being a big guy, obviously, you have a little more weight to carry on a rehab leg. So, doing the exercises obviously required a little more, effort into it. Not saying that any other guy wouldn't put as much effort in, but you know, I'm almost like 290, so it was like landing on it early in rehab. Obviously, didn't feel great, but we pushed through it, and you grind through the pain, and we have a great AT staff here who took care of us, and yeah.
It was the preseason game in Sask. Was that when it was?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Can we ask you what it was? Obviously, feel free not to tell us.
It was really random. Like I didn't feel it at all. So it happened. I like hyperextended my leg for like maybe half a second. Continued on in the play, like no pop or anything like that. Played the rest of the drive, I believe, and then I came off and my leg felt like a little unstable, like a little weird. So I was like, oh, I'll get it checked out at half. Went inside and the doctor's like, yeah, we'll do the Lockman test. So, he checked my knee out and he's like, you don't have an ACL. And I was like, all right.
I don't want to laugh, but that's a really funny story.
I mean, literally like 3 days later, I was in the gym, like front squatting 405. Like I could pistol squat, I could run. I had no issues. Like they were even considering like just like rehabbing for like 6 weeks and like putting a brace on and play the season. But obviously that's a little risky. So I decided to go the surgery route. But yeah, it was hard. I think it made it harder because I didn't have that moment where like, people usually like go down and like you tore it, right? So kind of hit me out of the blue.
Painful at any point?
I mean, not really. The only painful was like after the surgery, like the first like week maybe, but yeah.
Sorry,
I didn't have any inflammation either, like no swelling or anything.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around that.
Yeah.
Cam, Jamal Parker and Dalton have all talked about your kind of trio of guys that had to go through it, and you talk about kind of the strength you got from those guys too.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine what it would be like without those guys. They were there every step of the way with me, and we grew really close together as friends and as teammates, and I appreciate them so much more than I ever have, and they put in so much work and effort, and it really pushed me to put in more effort and work. So shout out to them, they're great, and I'm happy to see them playing too. Made me a little jealous when they got out there first, but yeah, it's awesome to see them out there again for sure.
Cam, what was that? I was curious because it sounds like, it's very positive that you're talking right now, obviously, and how it kind of went. It's kind of odd in a way, but was there mental hurdles with this? Like, or could you talk about that? Like, how challenging it was mentally?
100%, yeah. Like, right after I found out, I think I was in the locker room, like, I called my mom, and I was like, that was a hard part. That was probably one of the hardest phone calls I've ever had to make. And then, like, post-surgery, obviously having your leg be kind of useless for a while is hard mentally. And then, I was doing really well at about, like, 9 months. And then, like, I had a little bit of a setback, which is why I started camp a little late. But so it's just, like, you go through peaks and valleys in it, and those valleys can be extremely tough, especially in the off season when you're alone and you don't have your teammates around you and stuff. It was a little easier here with like Dalton and all of them, and they're going through the same thing. But yeah, you just kind of have to lean on other people, like my family, my mom, my dad, my sister. They were all there for me, and they were always cheering me on. So even in your darkest moments, you always got people with you right there. So.
What would that rank for you, like in your career, as far as toughest things that you've gone through?
That's easily the toughest thing I've ever had to go through, for sure. I mean, just in life, honestly. That was like one of the hardest things, the rehab, for sure, especially the whole year it took. So that's why it's just so nice to be back out here again and just like be able to run and, hit and just be with the guys.
It's just also, sorry, Gord. Just last one for me. I was just curious, is there like I always find it interesting after this long road back, like is there a learning moment, a learning or a takeaway for you from this entire process?
Yeah, I mean, you really got to appreciate what you have when you have it, It can be taken away at any moment, and some people get injuries that, end their careers, right? So, it makes you more grateful and appreciative of what you have and that you get to play the game you love. So.
Just got one question for you. Like, see, you said you're making that decision. You could have played, right? You could have rehabbed it and put on the brace and played, right?
Yeah.
But what was the decision that made you decide that surgery was the right route for you? Because some guys wouldn't go that way. What was it for you?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of factors. I'm like relatively young, like I'm 26 right now, so hopefully I have a a long career ahead of me. So I didn't want to potentially risk, having more years out. So that was a big factor. I took some time to think about it because I did consider wanting to play since it was so early on. And I know, like, if you tear it again, like you tear everything, right? So that's a little scary. So I kind of just thought about it and came to the conclusion that I want to go the surgery route based off of that. Yeah.
Cam, what are you looking forward to the most in a game? Like, is it just taking a running back and putting him on his back, or like, what are you looking forward to the most?
Just making plays, honestly, and having the crowd cheering, and just that moment where everybody's like screaming at you because you made an awesome play, and connecting with the fans like that. That's the best part of football right there, and having your teammates celebrate you right there with you. So that's what I'm looking forward to, especially after watching a whole season on the sideline. Yeah.
Are you playing do you think you're playing the whole season with the knee brace, rocking the knee brace?
100%. Yeah. That's just because of position. Usually, like D-line and O-line guys, if they have a knee injury, they wear it. So, like, I'm pretty sure like Micah Johnson has both knee braces or something like that from when he tore both his. So, yeah.
Is that a for the rest of time thing, or?
I have no idea.
You play it?
I've never done it, right? So I guess it's a feel thing. And obviously I'll work with the AT staff and medical staff to, we'll talk about that later on if I feel comfortable coming off of it or if they feel I should just keep it. Al's obviously incredibly smart, so, I usually just follow what he says.
What are your hopes for this year? Do you hope that it looks like 2023? Do you?
Yeah, 100%. I'm coming to play ball, and I'm bigger than I was in 2023 and just as fast, just as strong. And so I'm ready to make some plays and get back out there for sure.
So if the interception comes to you and you haul it
Yeah,
in,
hopefully I get another chance at that again.
How much more do you weigh now compared to 23, by the way?
So I think in 23 I weighed in at like 275. Right now I weighed in at like 290, 289.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is that
So
a good weight you play at?
yeah, I've played all over. Like in college I played at 290, 295, 285, 275. So
Yeah.
I felt a little bit light last year at like 275, so I wanted to come back with like a little more beef, I guess. So, and obviously I was in the gym every day, like doing upper body and stuff. So when I couldn't do legs, I mean, you could ask anybody. I was just sitting, like I couldn't walk, so I was just sit on a bench and I just like curl, do all that fun stuff.
Not working out the other leg.
No, when I wasn't allowed to, no, because you got to wait like a month for the stitches to heal and stuff. So Al's like watching me out of the corner. He's like, "Don't sweat."